Welcome back. 7:45 here on Morning Live. Now, dedicated followers of fashion are in for a treat. The continent's fashion designers have been hard at work creating flamboyant garments for the Arise of Africa Fashion Week. It's an 8-day-long event that starts this Friday. With 51 designers from 21 countries participating, Arise Africa Fashion Week is creating history. This is the first African Fashion Week, and it is set to become an annual event, traveling around Africa each year following the 2010 showcase. But to tell us more about the Fashion Week, we're joined by Dr. Precious Moloi-Motsepe, the chairperson of African Fashion International, as well as Nigerian-born designer Eloy of the clothing label Eyola. Ladies, thank you.
Hello.
Welcome to the studio. I almost feel like saying in beginning this interview, it's about time. I mean, an African Fashion Week is long overdue.
It is very exciting for us, for the designers. I think it is really historic for us. You've always seen fashion weeks happening all over the world, in Paris, African designers being invited to partake in those. But now, for the very first time, we have more than 50 designers from 20 countries, all under one roof, all happening on the continent. So we're very excited about that.
Take us a step back. Where did the idea come from? Because like I was saying earlier, there was always, it was so exciting. Yeah, we've got some African designers showcasing at, say, Summer Fashion Week or this Fashion Week.
Yes.
It's an entirely dedicated African Fashion Week. Where did it come from?
You know, it's always been difficult to get the world media, attention because of the different fashion weeks we hold all over the continent. And we've always thought that there needs to be a consolidation of all the fashion platforms on the continent, bringing together the best of what the continent has, all under one roof.
Yeah.
And so we went through this process of communicating with some of the best fashion people on the continent and bringing this together. And we partnered with Arise magazine to form this Arise Africa Fashion Week.
Yeah.
So it's a consolidation of all the best that the continent has to offer.
Well, and you've got one of the best sitting next to you.
Oh,
what is it like for you to finally have a dedicated Africa Fashion Week?
I think it's fantastic. Again, I completely agree with Dr. Precious here. I think it's amazing. I think we're seeing a lot in throughout the world, like you said. You see all these Western designers who are like taking African prints and basically taking all these things coming from Africa. And I think it's time that we kind of shown that we've also got, as apart from all the fabrics and prints, we're also designers, and we're creative people.
Yeah.
And I think it's brilliant as well because it's really the first time we can actually show this to the world, that we can bring this to the table and hopefully become one of the fashion capitals.
Absolutely.
After a few years.
You live in the UK now.
I do.
And tell me, what is the reaction? Obviously, you can see from the clothing that you're wearing and that beautiful garment over there, which we're going to show viewers in a short while. I mean, what is the reaction from people in Europe to the fashions that you've got that are obviously influenced by Africa and particularly Nigeria?
Yeah, well, everyone's taking it quite well, really. They're excited about it, and I think that's another reason why I really want to do Africa, because no one really puts to the limelight that, oh my gosh, she's an African designer. No matter how much you say it and how much you are proud of where you're from, people just call you a British designer, or they just focus more on the clothes.
Yeah.
So I think by doing this, I want to embrace that I'm an African designer and embrace that and show that to the world as well. But in Europe and the UK, it's taken on quite well, actually.
Yeah.
But I think I really want to embrace more of being African and show them this is where this is where my roots are, and this is where the inspiration obviously started forming from this continent, really.
Yeah. One thing I want to find out, however, is the international exposure that something like Africa Fashion Week gets. How big is it? I mean, yes, we're showcasing African designs in Africa to Africans. What about the rest of the world?
You know, I think the exciting thing for us is that this is happening on the back of many of the firsts that have happened on the continent. It's happening on the back of this Obama mania. It's happening on the back of some of the successful events that we've had, sporting events on the continent. We now, during this month, are going to be hosting the World in Africa, in South Africa. So the spotlight is really on South Africa and on Africa.
Yeah.
And this is really, really the right time for us to really shine and show the world what we can do.
Yeah.
You know, like Eyola was saying that many designers throughout the world have always been inspired by Africa. And now it's time for us to bring them to the source of this inspiration, which is Africa.
That's something that I'm very interested in pursuing, is the fact that designers from the West are looking to Africa for inspiration.
Constantly.
Is this constantly? Is this something that's happening all the time?
It is happening all the time. If you open magazines,
Yes.
you know, international magazines, even Vogue, every season, at least one designer takes inspiration from Africa, whether it be safari or your prints. They're always taking inspiration from here. Even bold colours, really, the bold use of colours and the clash of colours really came from here. And it's only taken off in the last couple of years where everyone's embracing those bold colours. So I completely agree.
Yeah. I'm so happy to hear that. I really am, because I think it's something. And one thing we were chatting off air was saying colours. And colours. I mean, if people have to look at the set this morning, I think this is this is a bright set that we're looking at.
We are a very colourful nation.
Yeah, this is very true. Just very quickly, what can we expect? I mean, we go down to Fashion Week. What do we expect from the Africa Fashion Week?
Of African designers, all under one roof. Best models that you can find that always showcase in Paris and all over the world. They will be in Africa. It's going to be so exciting to really come across some of the designers that we only read about, and it's going to be really very good fabrics, designs, and it's going to be really one of the best, or probably the best fashion week that has ever happened on the continent.
And certainly one of the most exciting. And this is going to travel around Africa, so it'll be held in different countries each year.
Absolutely.
Good. Well, I'm glad South Africa are again giving birth to it, so that's going to be very, very exciting. So good to have you with us. It really is.
It's lovely. South Africa is lovely. Johannesburg.
Yeah, is it? Please tell me, is it your first visit? Or
No, it's my second, actually.
Okay, good.
I love it.
Yeah,
I completely love it. People are so warm and everything. And obviously, like you said, you know, this is the first leg of Africa Fashion Week being held here. So it's like such an honor for me to, you know, participate in this.
Lovely.
And obviously Johannesburg is going to be close to my heart forever, because it's a first for me as well, my first catwalk.
Fantastic.
So,
before I say goodbye to you, just explain to us the outfit that we've got here.
Okay.
That you're showing us this morning.
Sure. Well, basically, we've got a purple dress with a cape. And most of my designs use a lot of bold colours, you know, and it takes inspiration from Africa, but also I take a lot of inspiration from the Victorian era. There's a lot of details and elaborate details going together, and obviously the use of bright colours comes again from, you know, being my roots from Africa and being from Africa. But, you know, the concept is really elaborate, crazy, you know, lots of details going on, but ultimately wearable. And that's what my aim is, really, to have a kind of a couture feel to clothes, but they're ultimately for the streets, for the people, and you can wear it and turn heads.
That is magnificent.
Thank you.
You know, the thing is, I know what's going to happen. We're going to get viewers that are going to be writing and saying, where do I get this from? How can I get it? There's my last question. I'm sorry, I have to wrap this interview, but you see such beautiful fashions on the ramp. I mean, and to actually access these fashions and get hold of them, I mean, how do we do this? For you particularly, what do we do? Have you got a website?
Yeah, I've got a website. It's Eyola.com, and it's pretty simple. Just email me the item you like, and I take it.
Okay, Eyola.com, that's how you get it.
Yes.
And then, would you have
they
details?
can visit, yes, www.africanfashioninternational.com.
Okay, good. And then you can see all the designers and the fashions and order what you like. So, ladies, thank you very much. Good luck for the beginning on Friday, and I hope it goes exceptionally well. Let's take a break. We'll have the final news and weather after this. Stay tuned. Great.